Your offer on that dream home was just accepted. That is a massive, exciting step, and you should totally be celebrating this moment you worked so hard for. But after the happy dance, a new question starts to sneak in. Now what? Seeing that pending status on Zillow is a huge thrill. But let's be real, the road pending to sold is packed with critical steps, a ton of confusing jargon, and some potential traps that most homebuyers have no idea about. This whole period, which people call being an escrow or under contract, is where the real fun begins. And trying to get through it without a map can be unbelievably stressful. If you're selling or buying a home in Northwest Georgia and want someone to guide you through every step, from offer to keys in hand, reach out today. I'll help you avoid costly mistakes and close with confidence. My contact info to book a Calendly call is below, and I'll be honored to be your local expert. I am Josselin Iraheta with eXp Realty. So in this video, I am going to be that map. We're going to walk through the 7 critical stages that will take you from that accepted offer all the way to closing day. My goal here is to pull back the curtain so you can move forward with total confidence and zero nasty surprises. All right, step 1 is making the whole thing official. Your offer being accepted is amazing news, but it isn't legally binding until you have a fully executed contract. This just means that both you and the seller and all the parties involved have signed the final purchase agreement. Think of this document as the official roadmap for the entire deal. It lays out everything: the final price, the closing date, and most importantly, the contingencies. What are contingencies? They're basically your safety nets. These are clauses that let you legally back out of the contract and keep your deposit if certain conditions are met. The big 3 are usually the home inspection, the appraisal, and your financing. You absolutely have to understand what your contract says, because every single thing you do from here on out is governed by the terms you just agreed to. Once that ink is dry, the clock officially starts ticking, which takes us right to the next big step. Step number 2, opening escrow and depositing your earnest money. This is your first real task, and it's time sensitive. You usually have to get it done within 1 to 3 days of signing the contract. In Northwest Georgia, earnest money is usually due within 3 business days of contract acceptance. Since I'm with eXp Realty and we don't hold earnest funds in-house, your earnest money will typically be sent directly to the closing attorney's escrow account, where it stays secure until we close or the contract is terminated. So, what is all this stuff? Think of escrow as a neutral third-party holding account for the transaction. It's run by the closing attorney's office, what we often just call the closing company, who acts like a referee. They hold on to all the important documents and money, making sure nobody gets paid until every single condition in the contract is met. It's a system designed to protect both you and the seller. Your first job is to wire your earnest money into the escrow account, or you can do a cashier's check. If you're not sure, contact your agent or the office to know the exact payment method. The earnest money is also called a good faith deposit. It's typically 1% to 3% of the purchase price, and it's your way of showing the seller, hey, I'm serious about buying this house. This isn't some extra fee. This money gets applied directly to your down payment or closing costs later. For now, it just sits safely in escrow while we handle the next steps. The big fear is always, can I lose that money? And the answer is yes, but only if you break the rules of the contract. That's why those contingencies we talked about are so critical. They are your get out of jail free cards to protect that deposit. Okay, moving on to step 3, which is without a doubt one of the most important parts of the whole process for you, the due diligence period. In Northwest Georgia, the due diligence period is negotiable, but typically ranges from 7 to 10 days. During this period, you can also walk away for any reason without losing your earnest money. But if you decide to continue, this is your chance to play detective and learn everything you possibly can about the home's true condition. Your number one tool for this is a professional home inspection. You'll hire a licensed inspector to go through the house with a fine-tooth comb. We're talking roof, foundation, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and so much more. Their job is to uncover any problems that you can't see just by walking through. In most Northwest Georgia home sales, you'll receive a seller's disclosure, which is a document where the seller outlines any known issues or past repairs. But keep in mind, it's not legally required in Georgia. But in some cases, like state sales or investor flips, you may not get one at all. That's why your inspection is so important. Once the inspection is done, you'll get a very detailed report. Now, don't freak out when you see it. It's going to be long. Every single home, even brand new ones, has a list of issues. Your job alongside your agent is to figure out what's a major red flag versus a minor easy fix. If the inspection does turn up something serious, your inspection contingency gives you options. You can ask the seller to make the repairs, ask for a credit so you can handle the repairs yourself, or if the problems are just too much, you can choose to walk away from the deal completely and get your earnest money back. This step is your single best protection against buying a money pit. Next up, step 4, the appraisal and locking down your loan. While you're focused on inspections, your mortgage lender is working hard in the background. They're going to order a home appraisal, which is a professional opinion of the property's value. Here's a key thing to understand. The appraiser works for the lender, not for you. The bank needs to make sure the house is actually worth the money they're about to lend you. If you're buying the house for $400,000, they need to see a report that says, yes, this place is worth $400,000. It protects them in case you ever default on the loan. So what happens if the appraisal comes in low? Let's say the purchase price is $400,000, but the appraisal is only $380,000. The lender will only finance the lower value. This creates a gap, and you've got a few options. The seller can lower the price to match. You can come up with the extra cash to cover the difference, or you can try to negotiate and meet in the middle. If you can't reach an agreement, that financing contingency we talked about lets you back out of the contract. Your ability to walk away and keep your earnest money depends on the contingencies in your contract. If your loan gets denied because of the appraisal, your financing contingency can protect you. But without it, you could risk losing that deposit, your earnest money. At the same time, you need to be best friends with your lender. They're going to ask for a mountain of paperwork, pay stubs, bank statements, tax returns, maybe even your firstborn child. Just kidding, mostly. It is critical that you get them these documents ASAP to keep your final loan approval on track. It's not them trying to get on your nerves. That is how the process works. Step 5 is the title search and title insurance. This is another one of those behind the scenes steps that is absolutely vital for making sure you actually get clean ownership of the house. The closing attorney will conduct a thorough title search on the property. Basically, they're digging through public records to do a full background check on the property's title, which is the legal document that proves ownership. They're looking to confirm the seller is the true owner and to uncover any surprises, claims, or liens. A lien is a legal claim for an unpaid debt. It could be from an old mortgage, unpaid property taxes, or even a contractor who never got paid for a long ago project. If they find any of these issues, often called clouds on the title, the sellers has to clear them up before you can close. Once the title search comes back clean, you'll purchase title insurance. It's a one-time fee you pay at closing that protects you from any title problems that might pop up down the road that the search might have missed. It protects your ownership rights, and it's a non-negotiable part of making a smart real estate investment. We are so close to the finish line. Step 6 has two major parts: reviewing your closing disclosure and doing the final walkthrough. By law, you have to receive a document called the closing disclosure, or CD, at least 3 business days before you're scheduled to close. This is one of the most important pieces of paper you'll see. It's a 5-page form that gives you the final itemized breakdown of your entire transaction. It will show your loan terms, your final monthly payment, and a complete list of every single closing cost. You need to go over this document with a magnifying glass. Compare it to the loan estimate you got at the very beginning. The numbers should be pretty close. If anything looks off or you have questions, you need to call your lender and your agent right away. That 3-day rule is designed to give you time to fix any problems without being rushed to the closing table. Around the same time, usually 24 to 48 hours before closing, you'll do your final walkthrough. This isn't another inspection. It's just your chance to make sure the property is in the same condition you remember it, and to check that the seller made any repairs they promised to make. You'll turn on appliances, flush toilets, and make sure no new damages has happened since you were last there. And at last, we've made it to step 7, closing day. This is the moment you've been working towards, the day your property officially becomes yours. You'll head to the office of the title company or attorney for the closing meeting. Don't forget to bring a valid ID and your money. And you can't just bring a personal check. You need a cashier's check or proof of wire transfer for the total amount of your down payment and closing costs, which you saw on your closing disclosure. At the table, you're going to sign a mountain of paperwork. It can feel like a lot, but the main documents are the mortgage note, which is your promise to pay back the loan, the mortgage or deed of trust, which makes the house collateral for the loan, and the deed, which officially puts the house in your name. Once all the papers are signed and the money is where it needs to be, the deal is officially closed. The title company records the new deed with the county, your lender pays the seller, and you get the keys to your new home. In Georgia, you don't get a document labeled home title. Instead, ownership is transferred through a legal document called deed, which there are more than one type. You'll sign this at closing, and then the closing attorney sends it to the county to be officially recorded. Once that's done, usually within a few days, your name is now legally on the title of the property. A few weeks later, you'll receive a copy of the recorded deed by mail or email. So while you might not walk away from closing with a title in your hand like you would when you buy a car, that recorded deed is your official proof that you own the home. And that's it. You did it. From contract to closing, you've navigated the 7 steps from a hopeful buyer to a happy homeowner. It can definitely feel like a marathon, but every step is there to protect you and your investment, making sure you show up on closing day feeling confident and ready. The best advice I can give you is to keep the lines of communication wide open with your agent, your lender, and your title company. They are your team. I truly hope this guy helped clear up the path to homeownership for you. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button and think about subscribing for more real estate advice. If you're going through this process right now, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know what step you're on, or ask any questions you have. And if you're thinking about buying or selling and want a pro to guide you through it all, book a Calendly call with me. I'll be honored to be on your team. Share this video with someone who is considering selling or buying. I am Josselin Iraheta with eXp Realty. Thank you for watching.